Hey everyone, my name is Uwamahoro. I am an assistant lecturer at the University of Rwanda, School of Governance, Department of Social Sciences, and the program of social work. I have a bachelor's degree in social work and a Master of Arts in sustainable urban governance and peace. I am currently a PhD student at Gothenburg University in Sweden in the Department of Social Work, School of Social Sciences. I am here to present to you a paper whose title is Trade Under Repression, a scoping review of conflict experiences of urban street vendors. I'm sharing with you my screen so that you can see what I am talking about, and I think my screen is already there. So as I was telling you, the title is Trade Under Repression, a scoping review of conflict experiences of urban street vendors in Sub-Saharan Africa. You will talk about the background, then the methods, then the findings, and finally the conclusion. In the background, I would like to talk about the working context of street vendors. The ones targeted here are urban street vendors in Sub-Saharan Africa. Sub-Saharan Africa is chosen as a developing world with specific socio-economic, political, and environmental realities that can, in a certain way, linked to the conditions of street vendors. This is an informal business group, and their informality lies in that they have an economic activity which is run with illegal means but producing legal products. So this means that those ones who are selling illegal products are not part of this study. And the illegal infringement is on that they do not pay taxes, they do not have business permit, they violate zoning codes of urban areas, and there is even no legal guarantee between the seller and the client. This is a gendered group because it's made of both men and women, and their relationships can be interpreted based on their gender. It's also a vulnerable group, and their vulnerability is mostly on their livelihood, insecurity, and adversity. It's not only a vulnerable group, it also has a contribution to the socio-economic life of urban areas, as this is a source of employment, and these provide cheaper service to urban dwellers. This study is conducted in relation to the global and local development policies, mostly urban beautification, urban planning, and environmental protection. When I was thinking about this research, I had three questions in my mind. The first one was I was wondering the type of urban conflicts that street vendors experience. The second, I was also wondering who are participating in these conflicts, and also how the academic literature interprets this. The methods that I used, I've based my research on Arksey and O'Malley framework, which required me to go through 5 steps. The first one was to identify research questions. The second was to identify relevant studies from which I can have information that I want. The I have used the here presented databases, and in the databases I had the keywords here presented and connected by the Boolean operators. The third is the inclusion and exclusion. All the articles that are not peer-reviewed were excluded. Published before 2010, they were excluded, which do not relate to social sciences, they were excluded. But I have also looked at the journals and newsletters that talk about the urban street vendors and their conflicts. The fourth step is sorting out the information. Of course, the found articles were read, while the fifth step is to summarize the information, and the last step is to be in touch, to involve stakeholders. This will be done. The plan is that this is done at the very end of the research. Here are the information that I have had, which were put into different categories: socio-economic, political, health-related, and psychological. With socio-economic conflicts, street vendors are conflicting with urban formal traders, which accuse them to not pay tax and hold their clients, with street vendors because of competition, and with city dwellers because they have a kind of disorder. The political one, it's with urban regulators. In some cities, they were evacuated because they were accused to disturb elections. In some other cities, street vending is an activity that is mostly done by immigrants because it's easy, it doesn't require many many protocols to start, and any conflict was seen like xenophobia. They are also having conflict with regulators because of the implementation of development policies. In some other cities, there was a problem of epidemics outbreak, and street vendors were seen like people who can spread, because some of them sell food, as some people who can help spreading the epidemics, and they were chased away. Street vendors have that psychological conflict. Let me say that it's about frustration because they are not sure, they are not confident in their activities because they can be chased at any time. So how does this end? Their goods are so confiscated, they are imprisoned, and they sometimes resist and riot, which aggravate the conflict. And during when I tried to read and understand, and I realized that academic interpretation on this is that they continued putting more stress on the vulnerability of the group. If I try to conclude, this paper has narratively summarized what happens to Sub-Saharan urban street vendors in terms of conflicts, and I realized that the conflicts are contextual, based on socio-economic and political realities of any country, and I've realized that a certain political power is used to force the street vendors to leave their economic activities instead of embracing new growing economic realities. My recommendation is that further studies be conducted on sustainable management of street vending activities. So thank you very much for your attention, and I do welcome your comments and questions for the improvement of this paper. Thank you very much.